And Jesus turned to Peter and said to him, "Get behind me, Satan. You are thinking not as God, but as a human. If anyone wants to follow me, let him take his cross and follow in my footsteps." My dear people, today the church presents to us the challenge of the cross. Each one of us can be identified with that because we all have our crosses, and sometimes those crosses can be very, very hard, and sometimes even very heavy. In the first reading today, if you close your eyes and hear the prophet Isaiah speaking those words, we consider ourselves like we are walking with Jesus on the night of the betrayal, when he was taken to the high priest's court, and there they make fun of him. They spit at him, they hit him, they did all kinds of things to him to show disrespect. And the prophet was really preparing us for that very horrible days that Jesus was going to go through. And we know that that prophecy was fulfilled in the words of Jesus today. When after Jesus asked the apostles, "Whom the people think that I am?" and they gave him, "Oh, you are John the Baptizer, you are Elijah, one of the prophets," Jesus pointed fingers to them and said, "And who do you say I am?" And Peter said to him, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living Father." I will come back to these words at the end of the sermon. But I like today to really go back to that second reading, where today the Apostle James really speaks to us very seriously about our call as Christians. James asks us to really be ready to manifest our faith by to demonstrate our faith by being active, put our faith into action. What good it is that your brother and sister who is hungry and no clothing, you said to them, "Peace, get warm and eat well," when you do not share what you have with them. And James reminds us, show me your faith, and I will show you my faith through my actions. My dear people, today James reminds us that faith without action is dead. And you know, when you are dead, you are not able to act. And so today James reminds us, as he reminded us last week, do not be only people of the hearing of the word, but be doers of the word. Today James reminds us, show me your faith from what you do. My dear people, at the end of the journey, when we are going to be appearing in front of our Heavenly Father, He's not going to say to us how Christians we are, how much our name is registered in the books, how many masses and rosaries and everything we say. Those are important, but He's going to say to us, I was hungry, I was thirsty, I was ill and in prison. What did you do to make me comfortable? Many times, we think that those things have to be done by the pastor, some group in the parish, some organization, some government agency. Little we know that by virtue of baptism, we become Christians. Because in that baptism, we die to ourselves, to our ego, to rise to be another Christ. And if we look what Christ did and said to us, we need to imitate Him. I come not to serve. I come to not to be served, but to serve and give my life to everyone. My dear people, the word that Jesus used to us, love one another as I have loved you. And that love is not consist on a group of people, it consists of all the baptized. And this is what really the meaning of this great liturgy. That not only we know Christ and we know Him, that He died for us for our love, but now we have to be an alter Christus in this world. What Christ has done, we need to do. Because remember that we are going to be asked the question by Jesus, as He is asking to us in each one's heart, who do you say I am? And I must say to Him, Lord, you are the beggar who came knocking at my door. You are my brother who asked me to be there for him as he is going through a very hard and bitter divorce. You are my sister who really she came to me and asked me to help her with her family as her husband was taken to hospital with seriously ill. I will say, Lord, I see your face and who you are in those people that cross the path of my life. Because the journey of this life will come to an end. And the Lord will question us what we have sang in the beginning of this message. I was hungry, I was thirsty, I was ill and in prison, I was homeless. What did you do to make me comfortable? My dear people, this is the role of a Christian. This is the cross that we need to bear. The cross sometimes can be ourselves. The cross sometimes can be our spouse. The cross can be sometimes a member of our congregation. The cross can be sometimes people whom we work with. The cross sometimes can be people who really, because of their jealousy, sometimes they bait words in the ears of our boss so that we don't get the promotion we need to get. These are the crosses that sometimes came our way. And that's why the Lord is asking us today that we need to live that cross. And by that cross we are going to sanctify ourselves. My dear people, St. James today was really to the point when he asked us to evaluate seriously our role, the role of what Christian is all about. Sometimes, we think what Christian is the hallelujahs we sing in the church, sometimes even how much we are active in the church, sometimes even because we go to Sunday Mass. Little we know that our faith has to be a living faith, a faith that reaches out to those who are less fortunate than we are. My dear people, as we go to celebration of the Mass today, let us take the words that we just read and really make them our own, so that we remember that the Lord is challenging each one of us to really lift up our cross and help others to lift theirs. This is the message that we need to keep in mind, because many times the son of yours who needs a word of encouragement, your neighbor who is elderly, who has no one to shovel her snow, your sister who is asking you to take her children while she can visit her husband in the hospital. For those who are going through a hard time, there is the face of Jesus. As St. Teresa of Avila says, He is not on the face of the earth any longer, but your hands, your feet, your whole body is His hands, is His feet to reach out to those in need. May today the words of James remain very serious with us, because sometimes we take the attitude that there is somebody else who can do. Little we know that I was put there in that time, in that space, purposely, so that I will challenge my charity, and I will hear the words of Jesus resound again in my ears. Whatever you do to the least of my people, you do it to me. As I have loved you, you love one another. Jesus was not just active, passive in His ways, but He was active. Not only He told us, but He did. He fed the hungry, he cured the sick, he raised the dead. He was there for those who are less fortunate, and even that society has put them aside. May the words that we read today be the words that we live by. So at the end of the journey, we are not going to be surprised when the question will be arise on our judgment day, when we have to render a judgment, what we have done for our people. Because that is what Christ intends for us to do, to be like Him, Christ in the world, to build His kingdom. Not only we are saved, but by our action we reach out to others, and they too will be saved. God bless you.